Good morning, everybody. We're about ready to get started here. Hope you're doing well. Today's conversation is going to be, maybe it's time to stop getting good at managing problems. Different idea, huh? Let's do this. There we go. All right, we're going live on Facebook today. Let's see if that works. Looks like it's working. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to see you all here. Haven't been on Facebook in a while. Today's conversation is going to be about, let's see here, that's muted. Awesome. About stop managing problems. How about starting to avoid them? And how do you avoid problems? Well, life expands when you avoid problems instead of learning to manage them. Yeah, avoid them, not handle them, powering through them. And, well, I always have problems. You got to remember law of attraction. What would happen if your life wasn't filled with problems, wasn't filled with challenges? If that sentence triggered you, good, because maybe you might be addicted to the struggle. I know I've been through that process. I've been there. Sometimes we glorify handling problems. I'm a problem solver. That's different than you dealing with your own problems. Why do we brag about being able to juggle so much? Why do we wear stress like a badge of honor? Why is busy considered virtuous? Why is exhaustion proof that you're trying hard enough? Why is you being completely exhausted? Why do we look at that as proof that you're doing something? Who sold us this nonsense? They don't design a clean life. Exhaustion, problems, challenges. They build a chaotic one. Then we pride ourselves on surviving it. That's not strength. That's poor architecture, right? So today's session conversation, the 10 questions, it's going to mess with your belief a little bit, and maybe you didn't even know you had. Here's the belief. Some people have. A lot of people have. A lot of people I have conversations with have this. More problems equals more importance. More stress equals more value. More responsibility equals more worth. And it's quietly destroying people. Because instead of eliminating friction, we train ourselves to tolerate friction. Instead of designing simplicity, we practice endurance. Instead of saying no, we get better at coping. That's a little backwards, I think. Let me put it blunt. If you're constantly having problems to manage, listen carefully, listen to the words. This may trigger you again. If we're constantly having problems to manage, you're not strong, you're disorganized. If you're always handling stuff, you didn't build a life. You built a fire you keep putting out. You got to hang in there. And somehow we celebrate that. It's wild, isn't it? Here's the curiosity gap nobody likes to talk about. The most peaceful, effective, high-performing people I know don't manage problems. They have fewer problems. Not because they're lucky, because they refuse unnecessary ones. They avoid drama. They avoid bad fits. They avoid obvious friction. They don't call it avoidance. They call it their standards, their non-negotiables. Somewhere along the way, we were confused. Addiction to approval, avoidance, fear-based escape. with elimination. We were confused with avoidance versus elimination. Those are not the same thing. Running from reality is weak, but refusing to volunteer for preventative stress, that's wisdom. Think about it. Think about nature. Does water fight the rock? Mm-mm. It flows around it. Does the tree argue with winter? Nope. It conserves energy. Nature doesn't manage problems. Nature adopts and removes the friction. It seems like the bipedal things that walk this earth, only humans try to prove toughness by suffering unnecessarily. It's ego, not intelligence. It's philosophically, this isn't new. Marcus Aurelius wrote, right? One of the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius wrote about removing what isn't essential, not conquering everything, subtracting. Because everything that's unnecessary, every unnecessary obligation steals your life force. And life force, your energy, is finite. So here's the part that stings. A lot of people don't simplify because problems make them feel important. If I'm needed everywhere, I matter. If everything breaks without me, I'm valuable. So they unconsciously create complexity so they can play the hero. Yet the heroes are tired. You know some heroes that are tired? And tired people don't expand, they survive. And that's where the brain gets us triggered. Brain looks for two things. Will this kill me? Or how fast can I recognize a pattern? That is the survival instinct of the brain. I'm going to say something that might go a little nuclear here. If your life feels heavy, the problem isn't because you're weak. It's because you keep saying things to bring the energy to you. It's because you keep saying these things you should never agree to. Most stress isn't fate. It's permission. You allow it, which means you can unallow it. Yet that requires something uncomfortable. Disappointing people, setting boundaries, walking away, not being the savior. And you know what? Your ego despises that because that's where you got your dopamine hit from being important. So instead, we manage, we cope, we grind, which is just slow self-betrayal. So today isn't about becoming tougher. It's about becoming clearer. It's about becoming cleaner, cleaning your calendar, cleaner relationships, cleaner commitments, cleaner thinking. Because expansion doesn't come from capacity. It comes from space. And space only appears when you stop collecting problems like trophies. How many more t-shirts do you really need to hang in that closet? So let's get personal. Here's 10 questions. 10 questions. 10 questions that are confrontational on purpose. I know it's early. Maybe you need to come back later this afternoon and rewatch the video because clarity sometimes needs a slap. So here's 10 kind of in your face questions about your addiction to problems. Which problems in my life are actually optional? Yet I keep pretending they're necessary. Oh, snap. Half of them are self-inflicted, probably. Be honest when you answer that question. Here's 2. Where am I managing something I should have eliminated months ago. Oh, snap. Managing is often procrastination with a better name. I was 2. Number 3, who in my life consistently creates drama that I keep tolerating? That's not compassion. That's poor boundaries. What commitments did I say yes to out of guilt instead of alignment? Guilt built lives always feel heavy. Do I secretly feel important when everything depends on me? Question 5. Do I secretly feel important when everything depends on me? You got to answer these privately, quietly. Maybe sitting in front of a mirror. You might be surprised at the energy it creates in your body. That's ego disguised as responsibility when you secretly feel important because everything depends on you. Question 6. If I stopped fixing everyone else's problems, who would I be? Sometimes helper is just identity armor. Oh, I like to help people. I just want to help people. What would break if I simply did less? Question 7. What would break if I simply did less? Why am I afraid to let that break? Number 8. How many of my daily stresses could disappear with one uncomfortable conversation? Critical thinking. How many of my daily stresses would simply disappear with one uncomfortable conversation? Probably most of them. You just keep delaying that conversation. Question 9, we're almost done. Hang on. Am I proud of how much I endure instead of how I intelligently design? I told you, hey, these are kind of a wake up. Am I proud of how much I endure? Do you get to wear the badge instead of how intelligently you design your life? Endurance is survival. Design is mastery. What would change? How would your thinking shift if you started to put energy into literally designing your day? And question 10, if peace, if calmness, if serenity were my priority, what would I stop immediately? Not add, stop. Right? Brian Tracy, there's 4 things you can do. You can start something, you can do less of something, you can stop something, you can do more of something. You can start it, stop it, do less, or do more. What would you stop? Not add, what would you stop, eliminate? Because subtraction is where freedom lives. Look, this isn't about becoming avoidant. It's about becoming intentional. Face what matters. Absolutely. Yet stop volunteering for nonsense. Stop adopting chaos. Stop proving your worth through struggle. Life expands when energy isn't constantly leaking into preventable fires. Expansion needs space. Space requires fewer problems, not better coping skills. So there's some thoughts for today. Don't manage, eliminate. Don't cope, design. Don't prove you're tough. Protect your energy. Because awesomeness isn't how much you can carry. It's how little you need to do. I'm your head brain training, brain scrambling misfit. It's good to see you again. I'll see y'all where? I'll see you at the next event. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now. Good morning, misfits. Questions, comments, thoughts, takeaways? Kind of a quick morning. That was live on Facebook. So we'll be going there probably for a little while. Change things up a little bit. Questions, comments, thoughts on exhaustion.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Silka.
How are you feeling this morning?
Outstanding.
All right. So this was very fitting. What you did today was taking away, as that was exactly what you did yesterday at the end. I don't know if anyone else noticed besides me. Nobody said anything, but you took away the ending that we usually have. And I was curious. I know you answered and you said you just want to shake things up, but it kind of was an introduction into what you were sharing today, I think, is to do things less. And yes, why are we allowing people to cause problems? I mean, I think it's different with family and friends. Not friends, family. I have some people in my family that just simply love to cause drama. I don't like it and I try to remove myself from it. But maybe my boundaries are not set as well with my family as with other people. I used to, people scream fire constantly for the silliest things, and I used to feel that I needed to help them. But now I have been able to set boundaries because of your teachings for the last year. And I no longer do that. I will, if someone can find it themselves, I will ask them a question instead. Does that make sense?
Hmm?
Why are you? Yeah.
Well, because you haven't asked a question, you said a statement. So
Yes, I have not asked a question. Well, okay, yes. Well, my question is, how do you set better boundaries to eliminate this from people in your family to not get them more angry or more upset in the moment? I mean, I can just walk away and not say anything, and it also upsets them if I don't talk to them if they want me to talk. And I just don't engage. That seems to also upset them. So, what would you suggest that I do?
well, the first flaw I see in that boundary setting formula is that you're worried about them. So
Yes,
you can't
that
make
is
a
true.
boundary if they got to be part of your boundary. You have to decide what's more important to you. What's the most valuable thing? What is your definite major purpose? What is the thing that you are going to live every second? Because the second somebody can break through that wall, they take away your life. They take away your life force. They take away your energy. They take away your focus. They shift your whole day. They get you mad. They get you frustrated, challenged. And you're still talking about moments, you're having moments of memory that are frustrating, aggravation, and agitation, and they're not even in the room. So you have not decided when you want to take control of your life, called you, and decided what gets in and what gets out. And so you've got to do what Epictetus said: find out what you desire, get very clear of what you control about the thing you desire, and then what you can't control, leave it off. It's outside the circle. You have no influence over that. Somebody shows up and they want to be mad as a hornet. Isn't that fascinating? You fall into the boundary with them, and therefore there is no boundary. They exactly pulled you across. They pulled you out of your boundary. Not that you set up the boundary. You didn't even have one. They pulled you across this imaginary boundary you had, and you wonder why you get mad. So you got to decide first, what do you want? How do you want to feel every moment of the day? And then once you
Well,
decide that, it's an easy decision.
well, I don't get mad. They get mad.
Oh, you get mad because you're talking about it now. How do I keep them from getting mad? So you get different than joy.
Yeah, yes,
Well, then that's silly.
absolutely.
That's
I get
crazy. Why
different
are you
than
worried
joy
about them at all?
because they're my family.
Well, good. Then just love them. You're not responsible for them. You're responsible to them. Don't do anything that makes them want to get mad. If they get mad, that's okay. They may get mad that the sun comes up. Well, the sun's not really doesn't really give a rat's butt. You're too worried about trying to make them happy at the sacrifice of yourself. Tell me how that's working out for you.
That's not working out for me so well because then
And I shift that.
because I still don't feel well over that, and it bothers me. And it's funny you brought that up.
So
Yeah,
you got to make a decision. How do you want to go throughout your day? When you decide to become unaffected, your life will change. Doesn't mean you got to be a raging jackass, which I know you're not, but some people are like, well, I'm taking care of my boundaries and you're an idiot, so I'm not. If you say anything of a negative nature, if they can pull you off your negative, if they can pull you off your positive stand, you don't have control over you. Forget about trying to set a boundary. You can't even set the boundary within your skin. Once you
well,
make a decision to understand, I choose me, I choose love, I will show up in the best way possible to bring the most possible value to you. This is where you set your morning intentions. I promise to do no harm. Didn't mean I won't be a pain in somebody's ass, but I promise to do no harm. Which is why I came up with the 3 questions. Hey, listen, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a conversation here. Do I have your permission to support you, to help you, to bring value? What are you talking about? I guess not. So no reason for questions 2 or 3. Anything else before I go? You got to learn to leave the room. You got
well,
to decide
yeah.
what's valuable to
Well,
you.
I do leave, and then I do not.
Well, you don't because you're still talking about it this morning. You haven't even left the room.
Well, physically leave the room.
Yeah, but you
I
haven't.
meant I.
Physically is easy. Emotionally seems to be more of a challenge, and that's where
Yes, yes,
99% of the problem is.
that's exactly where my challenge is. Yes,
Yeah.
I physically remove myself, but it's still inside my body, and it doesn't feel good.
Nope. I'd work on that.
How am I going to do that?
What would be the alternate feeling? It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. And it seems like you might have some tremendous improvement if you learned on doing it in a different way. I don't know what that way is. It's got to be the Silka way. You've got to work on it. That's what's called trial and error. That's what's called, isn't that fascinating? Let me learn more.
But that even upsets people when you say that.
Well, see, but you're worried about upsetting people. Your life is passing away. You'll spend another day not working on this, and another day of your life will go away where you're not operating at the highest possible potential, that the miracle that you are, because you're worried about upsetting other people. Don't worry about upsetting them, because you're thinking, you're pulling out from the universe, I'm going to upset people if I change. And guess what? I'll be damned. You upset people when you change. What if you changed and people were finally they were happy? My getting better allows other people to be better around me. What would happen if you started to say that?
I like that.
Well, then I would say that. That's available. If you're going to upset people, the opposite absolutely exists as well. You're going to make people joyful. But what you focus on is what you get. Well, if you take care of yourself, or say, I'm going to take care of me, that upsets people. I'll be darned if you won't upset people. 100% guaranteed you'll upset people. If you said, me taking care of me allows other people to take care of themselves, and they love that, and I love that, you'll find that conversation is true as well. You have to, and I would encourage everyone, please look at the way you describe life. And it's not how you describe life when you're with life. It's how you describe life when you're by yourself, because you are predicting, you are writing in the book, You are chiseling in stone how you want to see your day go. It's not rocket surgery. Yet it's the simplest, easiest, most non-threatening way to improve our day is to write out our gratitude blessings, to write out our daily intention, and 99% of the population don't do it. Why? Oh, well, I tried that a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't know how that works. That doesn't work for me. Okay, you're right. I'm rich. Let's move on. And rich has nothing to do with money. Every day, come in here and say, set your intentions. What's your daily intentions? What are you doing? How are you waking up? How many times did you say thank you before the call? How many times do you say thank you before noon? How many times do you say thank you before you go to bed? If it's not 100, your life's going to be miserable. At least 100.
Thank you. I'm getting started with you.
Good. I love it.
I know. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. And the first thing that happens when any of us decides to make the shift, the first thing that happens is we'll get a distraction. We'll spill our water. We'll spill our coffee. We'll trip. We'll find a shirt. Oh my God, I didn't know my shirt had a hole in it. Blah, blah, blah. We'll find 1,001 things to distract us so that we don't stay on the course of this new I'm valuable, I'm worthy, I'm enough mission. And before noon, we're back to the train wreck that we were yesterday. And we're like, see, I told you none of this stuff works. Okay. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Well, I have never said none of that stuff works. I do believe it works.
Well, just I would start acting on what you believe works, because you're not acting on it. You believe it, but you're not doing it.
I will.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
And that's the decision. And this is the same as I am prospecting you to join the new network marketing company called I Begin to Love Me. Doesn't matter what the comp plan is. Oh, this is good. It's such a hard work. It is until it's not. Then it's not even an issue anymore. The most difficult thing all humans will have to do in today's society is to begin to say, I'm going to take care of me. Because the second you do that, boy, that seems selfish until you learn that you can't give any more from your empty bucket. Every time somebody throws you a little bit of joy into your bucket, you give it away. And it can go away in madness and frustration and aggravation, but the joy gets in there and it just sizzles. It goes, and it vaporizes. I can't be happy because somebody thinks I'm not doing enough, or they don't think this, or I don't know why this, or they suck my time up, and it's a vicious meat grinder situation. It's gotten so bad that people say rise and grind.
Yeah, well, a lot of people say that.
That's the most ridiculous. Why? Who wants to rise and grind? That has become a moniker. What, rise and go get run over by a truck? Is that what you're telling me? No. Just rise and work hard. On what?
I always think it's rise and shine, but yes, you are very right. There's many people who say that.
Rise and shine. Now because of this grind culture, this sacrifice culture, if you're not burning the candle at 72 ends, you're not worth anything. Who said that? When did that become the norm?
You're very right. I've always found that really cringe when I read it. And I thought maybe it was just me. But apparently that now that you brought it up, you're very right. I think it's some people post it to inspire others, but I don't find it very inspiring.
Because if I'm not grinding, then I feel like even more of a loser. And then when I do go to grind, I definitely don't get the results because I'm not in the right state of mind. I can rise and outwork anybody. It's not a grind.
Yeah, that's a negative thing.
Yeah, so There you go.
Well, thank you. Thank you. How is Tallulah this morning?
She's outstanding in her field, literally.
That means she gets a lot of love from her daddy.
More her mommy, but yes.
Oh, more her mommy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
She's
that's
mommy's favorite.
Michelle's baby.
Oh, Michelle's baby. Ah, okay. You're gonna stick with the sheep.
I go up and I love on her. I spend time with her, but that's Michelle's baby. When Michelle opens the front door and says Tallulah, she bays at her and all that stuff. So
Oh,
she can
that's
hear
great.
her real easy.
That is very sweet.
Yep.
I love it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Anyone
for
else?
making my morning.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous? Okay. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another fun-filled day, Tuesday, the 10th. Have an amazing fun-filled day. I'm your head brain training. Take care of you, Misfit. I'll see y'all where?
The next event.
Next event.
The next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura
Pura
vida.
vida.
Ah, Vita, we love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be
Peace
with
be
us.
with us all.
Be with us all. And the queen of helping you learn to say no so you can say yes to you, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss Lee.
Osley, we love you, girl. And a little white fluffy.
Gurgly,
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 gurgly.
gurgly.
All right, everybody, have some fun. Watch the notice in the chat. There may not be tomorrow meeting. I'll know here in the next hour or so. And if not, I will send a note there and you'll get the morning off tomorrow. But other than that, if that doesn't happen, if that event that I'm supposed to be at doesn't happen, we'll see you in the morning. So if no message, we're on tomorrow. If I send a message, we're off tomorrow morning. So have a great day. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank
Sean.
you.
Love
Love
you
you
all.
guys.
Have a good day.